Royals accepted, all eyes on you. Codebreaker, they recognized you before you recognized yourself, the ones with actual bloodlines, the ones with inherited titles, the ones who've carried crowns for generations. They saw something in you that you didn't see yet, something that made them acknowledge you, accept you, treat you as equal when protocol says they shouldn't. The transmission decoding through the noble frequencies says this: royalty knows royalty, not by blood, by bearing, not by lineage, by presence, not by title, by essence. And your essence carries something they recognize, something that bypasses their training, something that overrides their protocol, something that makes them see you as peer when everything about their position says you're not. You noticed it but didn't understand it, the way they made eye contact differently with you, the way they extended conversations with you, the way they dropped formality around you, the way they spoke to you like equal when they spoke to everyone else like subject. You thought it was coincidence, thought it was them being nice, thought it was random friendliness. If you are the one who breaks the chains of generational trauma, subscribe, and right now, type chain breaker in the comments. Free your bloodline. But it wasn't random, wasn't coincidence, wasn't just nice. It was recognition, soul-level recognition. The kind that happens when someone carrying authority meets someone carrying authority. When someone with inherited power meets someone with inherent power. When someone performing royalty meets someone embodying sovereignty. And sovereignty is what you carry, not claimed, not declared, not performed, just present in how you move, how you speak, how you exist. How you take up space without apology, how you command attention without demanding it, how you create respect without requiring it. All of it natural, all of it uncontrived, all of it just you being you. But you being you carries frequency that royalty recognizes because royalty is trained to recognize it, trained to identify threat, trained to detect power, trained to sense authority. And you register on all three, not as enemy, as equal, not as rival, as peer, not as subject, as sovereign. This recognition creates confusion in them because their training says you shouldn't carry this frequency. Your position says you shouldn't have this presence. Your lack of title says you shouldn't command this respect. Everything they've been taught says sovereignty comes from bloodline, authority comes from inheritance, royalty comes from title. And yet here you are. No bloodline they recognize, no inheritance they know of, no title they can identify, and carrying sovereignty anyway. Embodying authority anyway, radiating royalty anyway. This shouldn't be possible according to their frameworks, shouldn't exist according to their training, shouldn't register according to their understanding. But it does, you do, undeniably, unmistakably, unavoidably, and undeniability overrides training. Unmistakability transcends frameworks. Unavoidability supersedes understanding. They can't deny what they clearly perceive, can't dismiss what they directly experience, can't ignore what their own recognition confirms. So they accept you, not formally, can't formally, but actually, in how they treat you, in how they engage you, in how they regard you, as peer, as equal, as someone carrying what they carry even though you don't carry it the way they carry it. Because you carry it differently, more naturally, more authentically, more powerfully. They carry inherited sovereignty. You carry inherent sovereignty. They embody trained authority. You embody natural authority. They project learned royalty. You radiate actual royalty. And actual is always more powerful than performed. Natural is always more compelling than trained. Inherent is always more authentic than inherited. This is what they recognize. This is what confuses them. This is what makes them treat you differently than protocol dictates. Your vibe is royal without being aristocratic, is sovereign without being entitled, is powerful without being domineering, is commanding without being controlling. It's everything their position is supposed to give them, but often doesn't. Everything their training is supposed to create, but frequently fails to. Everything their inheritance is supposed to provide, but regularly withholds. You have what they're supposed to have, but you have it real, where they have it performed, have it natural, where they have it constructed, have it inherent where they have it inherited, and real beats performed, natural beats constructed, inherent beats inherited, every time, in every interaction, in every encounter. This is why all eyes are on you when you enter rooms with them, not because you're trying to attract attention, because your presence commands it. Not because you're performing authority, because your being radiates it. Not because you're demanding respect, because your essence generates it. They feel this, sense this, recognize this, and respond accordingly, not consciously always, instinctively. Their training detects authority and defers to it before their mind understands they're deferring. Their conditioning recognizes sovereignty and acknowledges it before their awareness catches up. Their programming identifies royalty and accepts it before they consciously choose to accept. This unconscious acceptance is more powerful than conscious acceptance. Can't be faked, can't be forced, can't be performed. Either your vibe carries the frequency or it doesn't. Either your presence commands the respect or it doesn't. Either your essence generates the deference or it doesn't, and yours does, naturally, automatically, unavoidably. You didn't train for this, didn't study for this, didn't practice for this. You just are this, have always been this, will always be this. It's not something you do, it's something you are. Not performance, presence, not act, essence, not role, reality. And reality is what they're responding to. The reality of your sovereignty, the reality of your authority, the reality of your royalty. All of it unearned by their standards, but undeniable by their experience. All of it unclaimed by their protocols, but unmistakable in their perception. All of it unofficial by their systems, but absolute in their recognition. The unofficial often carries more power than official. The unrecognized often commands more respect than recognized. The untitled often embodies more royalty than titled, because official requires maintenance, recognized requires validation. Titled requires performance, but unofficial is self-sustaining, unrecognized is self-validating, untitled is self-performing. Your self-sustaining sovereignty, self-validating authority, self-performing royalty don't need their systems to maintain you. Don't need their recognition to validate you. Don't need their titles to perform you. You just are, completely, naturally, powerfully. And being is always more powerful than becoming. Presence is always more commanding than performance. They sense this power, feel this command, recognize this presence, and it draws them, attracts them, fascinates them. Because they've spent lifetimes trying to embody what you naturally are, trying to project what you effortlessly radiate, trying to command what you automatically generate. And seeing it natural in you shows them how performed it is in them. Seeing it effortless in you reveals how effortful it is in them. Seeing it automatic in you exposes how constructed it is in them. This revelation is both attraction and threat. Attraction because they want what you have. Threat because you having it naturally diminishes them having it artificially. Some respond with admiration, genuinely appreciate what you carry, authentically respect what you are, truly accept you as peer. These are the ones secure enough in themselves to recognize royalty in others without feeling threatened. Confident enough in their position to acknowledge sovereignty beyond bloodline. Mature enough in their power to celebrate authority outside inheritance. Others respond with resentment, feel threatened by what you carry, feel diminished by what you are, feel challenged by your presence. These are the ones insecure despite position, uncertain despite title, fragile despite inheritance. Your natural royalty exposes their performed royalty. Your inherent sovereignty reveals their inherited sovereignty as possibly hollow. But both responses confirm the same thing. You carry it. Whether they admire it or resent it, they recognize it. Whether they celebrate it or feel threatened by it, they acknowledge it. Whether they accept it graciously or resist it defensively, they experience it undeniably. And experiencing it changes them, changes how they see themselves, changes how they understand royalty, changes how they define sovereignty. Because you're living proof that it's not about bloodline, not about inheritance, not about title. It's about essence, about being, about carrying frequency that commands respect regardless of credentials. This proof threatens their entire system, their whole foundation, their complete justification. Because if royalty is about essence, not bloodline, then bloodline doesn't guarantee royalty. If sovereignty is about being, not inheritance, then inheritance doesn't ensure sovereignty. If authority is about presence, not title, then title doesn't create authority. And if none of those things create what they're supposed to create, then their entire hierarchy is questionable. Their whole system is vulnerable. Their complete structure is potentially illegitimate. This is why some accept you and others resist you. Acceptance means questioning their system. Resistance means protecting their system. But the questioning is happening anyway. The system is being challenged anyway. The structure is being exposed anyway. Not by you attacking it. By you existing outside it while carrying what it claims only exists inside it. By you embodying what they say requires bloodline, while having no bloodline they recognize. By you being sovereign without their sovereignty. Royal without their royalty. Authoritative without their authority. Your existence is the challenge. Your being is the exposure. Your presence is the questioning, not through words, through demonstration, not through argument, through embodiment, not through fighting, through being. And being is more powerful than any argument. Embodiment is more convincing than any words. Demonstration is more challenging than any fight. You're not telling them their system is questionable. You're showing them by being what their system says shouldn't exist outside their system. This is why all eyes are on you. Not just royal eyes, all eyes. People recognize royalty even when they don't understand what they're recognizing. Sense sovereignty even when they can't name what they're sensing. Feel authority even when they can't explain what they're feeling. Your vibe broadcasts, your presence transmits, your essence radiates, and the broadcast reaches everyone. The transmission touches everyone. The radiation affects everyone, some consciously, most unconsciously, but everyone nonetheless. Rooms change when you enter. Atmospheres shift. Energies move. Attention redirects. All of it automatic. All of it natural. All of it without you trying. Just your presence being present. Just your essence being essence. Just your sovereignty being sovereign. And sovereign presence creates sovereign space. Creates environment where others feel permission to be sovereign too. Where people feel invited to claim their own authority. Where individuals feel called to embody their own royalty, not by you telling them, by you showing them through being it yourself. This is leadership, real leadership, not positional leadership that comes from title, not hierarchical leadership that comes from rank, not organizational leadership that comes from assignment, but essential leadership that comes from being, from embodying, from radiating what others aspire to embody. You lead by being, command by presence, influence by essence, not trying to lead, just being yourself, and yourself is naturally leadership. Not attempting to command, just being present, and presence is naturally commanding, not working to influence. Just being essence, and essence is naturally influential. The royals who recognize you see this leadership, feel this command, sense this influence, and it's different from their leadership. Different from their command, different from their influence. Theirs comes from position, yours comes from being. Theirs requires maintenance. Yours is self-sustaining, theirs needs validation. Yours is self-evident. And self-evident is more powerful than requiring validation. Self-sustaining is more commanding than needing maintenance. Being-based is more influential than position-based. This is what draws them, what fascinates them, what makes them accept you despite protocol saying they shouldn't. Because protocol is about position, but recognition is about essence. Protocol is about rank, but acknowledgement is about being. Protocol is about title, but respect is about presence. And your essence, being, and presence override their protocol, rank, and title. Not through fighting protocol, through transcending it. Not through opposing rank, through operating beyond it. Not through rejecting title, through embodying something that makes title irrelevant. And irrelevance is more powerful than opposition. Transcendence is more effective than fighting. Operating beyond is more transformative than rejecting. You're transforming their understanding by existing beyond it, changing their perception by being outside it, evolving their recognition by embodying what they thought required their systems. And transformation through being is permanent. Change through existence is irreversible. Evolution through embodiment is unstoppable. Some royals are evolving because of you, transforming because of their recognition of you, changing because of their acceptance of you. Not dramatically, subtly, not obviously, internally, not publicly, privately, but undeniably, irreversibly, permanently. If your nobility comes from spirit, not blood, type royal soul in the comments. Honor your ancestors. They're starting to question, starting to wonder, starting to explore whether royalty really requires bloodline. Whether sovereignty really needs inheritance, whether authority really demands title, because you prove it doesn't. You demonstrate alternatives. You embody different source. And different source creates different results, creates sovereignty that's more stable, creates authority that's more authentic, creates royalty that's more real, because it comes from being, not position, from essence, not inheritance, from presence, not performance. This difference is visible, measurable, undeniable. Your sovereignty doesn't waver when position changes. Your authority doesn't fluctuate when circumstances shift. Your royalty doesn't depend on others maintaining it. It's constant, stable, reliable. Because it's you, not your role, not your title, not your position, you. And you-based power is more reliable than position-based power. Essence-based authority is more stable than role-based authority. Being-based sovereignty is more constant than title-based sovereignty. This reliability attracts. This stability draws. This constancy fascinates. They're watching you to understand how you do it, how you maintain sovereignty without position, how you embody authority without role, how you radiate royalty without title, trying to learn, trying to decode, trying to access what you access. But you can't teach what you are, can't explain what you be, can't transfer what comes from essence. They have to find it in themselves. Have to access it from their own being, have to embody it through their own essence, and that requires letting go of what they've relied on, releasing what they've depended on, surrendering what they've built identity around. Position, inheritance, title, bloodline, rank, all of it. Not abandoning it necessarily, but not depending on it, not deriving identity from it, not sourcing power from it, and that's terrifying for people who've built entire self-concept on those things. So most watch but don't transform, admire but don't change, recognize but don't evolve. Content to observe what you embody without embodying it themselves. Content to acknowledge what you are without becoming it themselves. Content to accept you without accepting themselves as potentially sovereign too. But some do transform, do change, do evolve, do find their own sovereignty, do access their own authority, do embody their own royalty. And when they do, they often reach out, connect, communicate, not as royal to subject, as sovereign to sovereign, as peer to peer, as equal to equal. These connections are profound, are real, are transformative for both, because sovereignty recognizing sovereignty creates resonance. Authority acknowledging authority creates amplification. Royalty accepting royalty creates multiplication. And resonance, amplification, multiplication create power beyond what either carries alone. This is collective sovereignty, shared authority, mutual royalty, not hierarchy, partnership, not subordination, collaboration, not ranking, equality. And equality among sovereigns creates something more powerful than hierarchy among subjects. You're building this, creating this, establishing this, not intentionally necessarily, but naturally, through being what you are, through radiating what you radiate, through connecting with others who resonate with what you carry, and connections form network. Network creates collective, collective generates movement. Movement towards sovereignty beyond bloodline, authority beyond inheritance, royalty beyond title, movement that threatens old systems, challenges old hierarchies, transcends old structures, not through attacking them, through outgrowing them, through creating alternatives that make them obsolete. And obsolescence is more threatening than opposition. Evolution is more dangerous than revolution. Outgrowing is more transformative than overthrowing, because opposition can be fought, revolution can be suppressed, overthrowing can be prevented. But obsolescence is inevitable, evolution is unstoppable, outgrowing is irreversible. You're making old systems obsolete, old hierarchies evolutionary, old structures outgrown, not through fighting, through being, through demonstrating, through embodying alternatives that work better, that feel more authentic, that create more actual sovereignty. And actual sovereignty is what people want, what people need, what people recognize when they encounter it, even royals, especially royals, because they've been promised sovereignty through bloodline and often found it empty. Promised authority through inheritance and often found it hollow, promised royalty through title and often found it performed. But you offer something real, something full, something authentic, not through promising, through being, not through claiming, through demonstrating, not through performing, through embodying, and real beats promised, full beats empty, authentic beats performed. This is why royals accept you, why all eyes are on you, why your vibe commands their respect, because you're real where they're often performed. You're full where they're often empty, you're authentic where they're often pretending. And real, full, authentic creates magnetic attraction, creates powerful presence, creates undeniable authority, not through trying, through being, not through effort, through essence, not through performance, through presence. Forever present, forever essential, forever being, the royalty that doesn't require bloodline, the sovereignty that doesn't need inheritance, the authority that doesn't demand title. Codebreaker, royals accept you because you carry what they wish their bloodlines guaranteed, what they hope their inheritance provides, what they believe their titles create, but often doesn't, often fails to, often falls short of. You carry it real, carry it full, carry it authentic, and that's why all eyes are on you, not because you're trying to attract attention, because your presence naturally commands it, not because you're performing royalty, because your essence naturally embodies it, not because you're claiming sovereignty, because your being naturally radiates it. The acceptance is recognition, the eyes are acknowledgement, the respect is confirmation. That royalty without bloodline is more royal than royalty with bloodline. That sovereignty without inheritance is more sovereign than sovereignty through inheritance. That authority without title is more authoritative than authority with title. You're the proof, the demonstration, the embodiment, walking validation that it's not about blood, it's about being, not about lineage. It's about essence, not about title, it's about presence. And being, essence, presence create royal vibe that actual royals recognize, accept, acknowledge, despite protocols saying they shouldn't, despite hierarchy saying you're not, despite systems saying it's impossible. But you're here, you're recognized, you're accepted, all eyes on you, all respect given, all acknowledgement earned, not through bloodline, through being, not through inheritance, through essence, not through title, through presence. Forever recognized, forever accepted, forever royal through being what bloodlines wish they created, inheritance hopes it provides, and titles assume they grant. The vibe is real, the presence is powerful, the sovereignty is undeniable, and denying the undeniable is impossible. Resisting the irresistible is futile, dismissing the unmistakable is foolish. So they accept, they acknowledge, they recognize, royals accepting you, all eyes on you, because you carry what can't be bought, inherited, or titled. What can only be, and being it is everything. Forever being, forever royal, forever accepted by those who know royalty when they see it, regardless of whether protocols allow them to see it. You're seen, you're recognized, you're accepted, by royals who know, by sovereigns who sense, by authority that acknowledges authority. All eyes on you, not burden, confirmation, not pressure, validation, not weight, honor. The honor of being recognized for what you are by those trained to recognize it. The validation of being accepted, despite systems saying you shouldn't exist. The confirmation of being acknowledged by those who understand what you carry even when they don't understand how you carry it without their credentials. Forever honored, forever validated, forever confirmed, the royalty that emerges from essence, the sovereignty that radiates from being, the authority that commands from presence. Royals accepted you, all eyes on you, and acceptance proves you carry something undeniable. Eyes confirm you radiate something unmistakable. Recognition validates you embody something that transcends their systems while fulfilling their understanding of what royal actually means. You're royal, not by their creation, by your being, not through their systems, despite their systems, not because of their acceptance, proven by their acceptance. Forever royal, forever sovereign, forever authoritative, through being, through essence, through presence, the way it's always been, the way it always will be, the way that makes bloodlines, inheritances, and titles recognize they're witnessing something their systems tried to monopolize but never actually owned. Royalty is being, and you be it, completely, naturally, powerfully. That's why all eyes are on you. That's why royals accepted you. That's why your vibe commands what protocols can't control. Forever commanding, forever accepted, forever royal through being rather than bloodline, essence rather than inheritance, presence rather than title. The eyes stay on you, the recognition remains, the acceptance continues, because what you are doesn't change, doesn't fade, doesn't diminish, just is, forever, completely, undeniably. Royals accepted, all eyes on you, forever. You are the answer to your ancestors' prayers. To learn how to heal your lineage and lead the future, click the video on your screen right now.